Alright guys, this is the wrap-up of my 1980 Honda CM400T Cafe Eraser project. Now that I've taken it out, put about 100 miles on it, done the tuning that it needed to do to finalize it, the bike, I'm calling it done. For now, until I need to do any other modifications and stuff to it, but now it's good to go. I put highway miles on it, gone on some twisties, and it handles like a dream. It's a ton of fun to ride. So I thought I would just make this final video kind of just a summary of what I've done to the bike, and also maybe some future plans that I'm going to do to it. So again, looking at the bike, what I've done is I've taken it from its pretty much stock state and took it all the way down to the frame, rebuilt the entire thing, and turned it into a cafe racer. One of the most noticeable things you can probably see right away is obviously the airbox removal, and the pod filters have been installed. I have done a whole video on how I did the carbs and everything to get them all tuned up and ready to rock, but the bike runs great. And part of that, I also had to relocate all the electronics, and so I did that with the battery tray right there underneath the seat, which is super low profile. And then I also put in this little electronics cover box thing, if you will, to cover up the other wires that are coming out of the motor that go up into the electronics box there. Also, what's really noticeable too is the 2-in-1 exhaust. So the stock heavy exhaust is gone, and I did a 2-in-1 Mac exhaust, which I also have a whole video on how I did the exhaust you can check out. I also put in these really cool rear reservoir shocks, adjustable shocks, so to allow for a little bit of a more race style ride. So those look really cool. Got rid of the stock ones, which were very old and busted. Probably some other noticeable things that you'll see is the engine has been completely polished. I have a video on that as well. Took the engine out of the frame and polished the dickens out of it. I didn't rebuild the motor. The motor was actually running perfect the way it was. Compression was great, so there was no need to take apart the motor. I just cleaned it up, polished it, and then put it back in the frame. One of the other things that you'll see is the tank, right? I have a video on how I took the tank off and used aircraft remover to take all the paint off the tank, and then I brushed it with a steel brush to give it this cool look. Then clear coated it, black emblems, black gas cover. The seat, a lot of people ask me about the seat for the bike, and unfortunately the seat was on the bike when I got it, so I can't tell you where it's from, but I'm sure if you look around you can probably find this cool low profile seat. I will warn you, it's not very comfortable. So this bike has been built for my lady to ride, and if she hates it after a while, I may end up getting a different seat, which might be one of the first things that I do if she hates it. I like this seat. It's very low profile. It's not very cafe-esque though. It's a little too low profile. I might get something with a little bit more of a hump on the back to kind of give it a more cafe look at some point. So that might be a soon to come mod to the bike. But the seat is cool. It looks nice, and it matches the brown grips that I got as well. And some people have asked about those, and these are just Bitwell grips. I got them on eBay for like 15 bucks. They're nice. So I've got the brown accents of the grips and the seat on the bike. But again, the look that I'm going for here is mostly black and brushed metal, and I think the brown accents kind of look really cool with the bike. One other thing that you probably notice is the bike is super low profile. There are no turn signals hanging off of it anywhere, but that doesn't mean it's not street legal. The past owner had this LED indicator light, which is kind of hard to see. It's hidden right here underneath the seat. It has the brake light, it has a running light, and it has turn signals on each side too, and it also shines down on the plate too. So super low profile, no signals hanging off. If I did want to, there actually are some holes on the sides here to hang them, but again, I like that super low profile look. And it also goes really well with the headlight too. The headlight was actually just an eBay special. You guys can find this online. It's just a 7-inch all-in-one headlight where it's got the high and low beam, came with the bulb. The light's decent. I might swap out the bulb at some point to maybe something a little bluer, a little brighter. But what's really cool is that inside here are the turn signals inside the light, and they're actually pretty bright. They're bright LEDs, so they blink pretty brightly. I can actually see it reflecting back on me and the cars in front of me at night, and I actually don't anticipate riding this bike much at night, so not the end of the world if they're a little bit hard to be seen. Maybe one of the mods that I'll do is eventually I'll probably replace this cheap plastic can that the light came with and put a metal one on there. Let's see, what else did I do? New stainless steel braided brake line coming out of the new master cylinder and brake lever. So I got this brake line on Dime City Cycles with the banjo parts and just ran it down through to the caliper. So got a nice black braided brake line in there, brand new, more secure, and definitely the brakes work great on this bike. Surprisingly good. So got a brand new brake system set up on the front. And one of the things I'll probably do immediately is actually get rid of the stock setup, which is something I talked about in my first video, the stock setup for the brake here on this side and then the shifter on the other side to do some rear sets, which will go right here on the original pegs, or the original mounts for the passenger pegs. So this will just be a one-seater at some point. I want to get rid of this, get rid of the extra weight. Right now when you're sitting, your knees are really bent, keeping them forward in the position, especially with the Clubman bars installed. So I really want to get rid of those. That'll probably be my very first additional mod that I do to the bike to get it set up to be, again, more cafe-esque. Got to get those rear sets on there. One other thing I was thinking about too is I obviously took off the front fender here, and I think it looks really cool without it, but I might, I still have the front fender, so I might take it, chop it, create a short fender that maybe will go from about here on the tire to there, paint it black, sand it down, paint it black. Might try that out, and if I hate it, then I can just take it back off. So not a big deal. I'll also probably soon get a new chain. I cleaned the dick ends out of this one and re-oiled and everything, but it still has some rough spots on it. It's good for now, but I might end up getting a new one in the near future. And of course, getting some new tires, front and rear, probably in a few months this winter, once the riding season slows down. But the bike turned out awesome, and I'm super excited about it, and I appreciate all you guys leaving out your comments, and I'm glad that this video log was able to help you. I hope that if you have any, have any questions, to continue to message me. Always happy to answer. I can tell you guys where I got all my stuff. But it was a mixture between 4into1.com, Dime City Cycles, Cognito Moto, and eBay were the primary places where I got everything, including my cool bar end mirrors, which were like a $15 eBay special, which actually worked pretty good. So I'm going to fire it up for you guys so you can hear what it sounds like. So there you go. You can hear it's pretty aggressive. It's actually much louder than my Triumph Thruxton, so it kind of puts it to shame as far as the volume goes. I just hope it doesn't end up annoying my fiance and she makes me put a quieter exhaust on it. But I really like that sound of that MGO cone. It's an awesome project. I highly recommend doing this, picking up yourself a little Honda Twin. They're a lot of fun to work on and relatively simple. So, look forward to more comments from you guys, and keep your eyes peeled for more videos riding this bike around the mountains in Northern California. Until next time.